I got a few good topics for us to talk about. We about to get straight up into it. Let me just get this done real quick. Post this, put this link up in there, and tell you guys about how. Cause I just got done, man. I just came from freaking um, messing with my washer. As I told you guys know I'm in a new apartment, right? So long story short, the washer wasn't working properly, and I was just trying to see what I could do until maintenance got here, and I had to work on draining the water. I had to drain the water. I had to. Uh, there was water all over the place. I had to make sure that I was going to a bowl and pour it out, drain it again, a whole bunch of stuff, man, and get the wet clothes in the dryer, man. It's been a hassle. It's been a hassle, but as they say, that new new levels, you get new problems, right? You got new things that you need to deal with. More money, more problems, right? Problems don't go away. You just grow, and the problems become different, right? So I'm dealing with some problems that I ain't never dealt with before. But obviously, we got ChatGPT that's helping us go through it. I just looked up how to go through and drain a washer, right? And that's that. The other day, man, I fell off my bike too. I don't even know if you guys know. You guys don't really know, but I had got. I don't want to pull it all the way over here, but I had got a brand new bike, bruh, just so I could ride to the job back and forth, because I'm in the city now. And man, the other day I was riding home, man. It was like midnight, man. I'm riding home, having a great bike ride, man. And the next thing you know, I fly off face forward, dude. I'm riding my bike, and I go, and there's a crack, right? And one side of the crack is bigger than the other, and my tire hit in between, and then I fall. I just have to brake so fast because I'm braking. I'm going fast, so I have to brake. And then when I brake, it was either I fly forward or I fly face first and I hit myself on the pavement with the bike, right? If I would have stayed on the bike, or I had to fly off the bike once I was going forward, and I had to help myself out. You know what I'm saying? So that's it's been a long week. Once again, new levels, new problems. Right, I'm going through things that I ain't never been through before. Things that I didn't have in mind that I was gonna go through, but that's just what life is, right? It's all about moving forward, and God's been with me the whole way. It's a journey, and I'm with Him all the way because He's with me all the way. Speaking of God, man, we gonna right here. I got the Bible right here. Always before I get on the camera and speak, I make sure I pray to make sure that God's speaking through me. And today, I just decided I'm gonna do it on camera, right? So with that being said, man, let's bow our heads and pray real quick before we get into this stream, and we're gonna get into this good information. So, right, dear Heavenly Father, right, I pray that you guide me as I speak through. As you speak through me, and I get this information across to the people who are listening to me, and I hope we learn what we need to learn and also apply what we need to apply to get that wisdom, Lord Jesus, right? I pray that you guide the person who's listening, right, hoping that they are able to receive the information. I hope that they are able to think positive and take this information and move forward and learn, right? Just listen to it and have no negativity towards the speaker, right? I hope that everybody has a good time, right? And I pray that you keep the energy high, pray you keep the vibration high, and we get into this stream with you, man. So just like everything, everything is great doing it ourselves, but it's greater when we do it with you. So with that being said, God, I just want to pray and I say amen, and let's get started to this stream, man. So that's my first time praying on camera, man. That's a little different, but that's something that we might as well make a regular thing, so you guys can see that side of me, because I'm all about, just showing you guys, being more personal, right? Showing you guys me, right? And with that, that comes with all aspects, and I'm okay with that. So first things first, man. First things first. Let me get this looking right, get me about the way, and get you guys right here. So first things first, man. The first thing that I want to talk about, our first topic today is gonna be, it's gonna be about the S&P 500 hitting more all-time highs, man. we have hit more all-time highs due to the rate cuts, right? So due to the rate cuts, S&P 500 has hit more all-time highs, right? Last week, Jerome Powell, he cut the interest rates by 25 points, right? 0.25 points, and then next thing you know it, markets ran up. So that was last week, and for the last week, we have been going up. We just hit a new high. Markets just closed at 1 p.m. literally, and we closed at 663, right? And that's a new all-time high, right? So the S&P 500 is moving up, right? Get you guys some shares, right? You guys let me know what you guys' favorite stock might be in the comments, whatever the case may be, in the chat, however you guys want to do it. But let's go to CNBC and see about some news, man, or let's see. Rob, Trading View got some news, right? Let's see if Trading View got some news. So gold hits 3,700, right? So gold has also been on a tear, right? Gold as an asset has been on a crazy tear. So it just hit 3,700 for I think that's an ounce. An ounce of gold is 3,700. But crypto melts down, right? So crypto is going down, and Powell could flip the market again. So that's what we're thinking. They're thinking Powell could flip the market again, right? Let's look at crypto. Let's look at Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin's been in this range of what's that, 107 to 124. Let's look, we're on a daily. Let's go here. Bitcoin's been in a range between 107 and 117,000, right? It just rejected 117,000. We're coming down to that 110,000 mark. 107 is that support, that bigger support. So crypto is coming down a little bit. But not too much. It seems like a little pullback, right? If we ended up hitting that 107,000, right, or even 100,000. Let's see how far away that is. 100,000, right there. That's it's only 10%. So that's possible. We can definitely hit 100,000 again, but that would be a good entry for people because, you know, people are looking to buy crypto, and crypto is probably the best asset right now that's going to grow over time. You know, crypto, they're looking at crypto to be, you know, 250,000 the next year. So if it goes to 250,000 the next year, let's just do 200,000. If crypto hits 200,000 in the next year, that's a 70% gain. If crypto hits 250,000 in the next year, it's 112% gain, right? So that's another 100% gain. So let's do the same thing with SPY, right? Because they predict that SPY is going to have possibly a $700 target by the end of the year. So a $700 target be an extra 5%, right? Even if it hits something as such as 720 or so, that's an extra 8%. We're already up 36% since those lows in May. So I think that, you know, a good target would be like 700. It's not bad. You know, we've had a long year. So from now to so from the lows in April, 480 to 720, that would be a 50% gain. The lows in April to where we are now is a 38.5% gain, almost 40% gain. So yeah, man, that's what the markets is looking. Let me see, Stream Manager. Oh, okay, we're in the game. Alright, we're in the game. But that's not what I want to pull up either. Those are some explanations that I was looking for to, you know, some topics to look for to talk about on stream. Let's look at this right here. Fed Chief Powell says stock prices appear fairly highly valued. Right, so let's see what he's talking about. Let's see. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. Right, so let me just break this down real quick so you guys can know who this is. So this is the chairman of the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve, they dictate our interest rate cuts. They are like the base. They dictate the interest rate and how the money moves in the economy, basically. So the Federal Reserve is in charge of, you know, how our money is shaping the economy, right? And how they make those moves, whether they're increasing interest rates, whether they're cutting interest rates, right? They talk about all that data, and he is the chairman, right, the head, and he speaks for that data. So anytime they have a meeting, he's the one speaking. So that's Jerome Powell. So Jerome Powell on Tuesday noted that asset prices right? A category that typically includes stocks and other risk instruments are at elevated levels, right? So he's basically saying that these prices are too high, right? Higher than usual, higher than they should be. So during a speech in Providence, Rhode Island, the central banking leader was asked how much emphasis he and his colleagues place on market prices and whether they have a higher tolerance for higher values. We do look at overall financial conditions and we ask ourselves whether our policies are affecting financial conditions in a way that is in a way that is what we're trying to achieve, Powell said. But you're right. By many measures, for example, equity prices are fairly highly valued. In the run-up to last week's policy meeting, stocks and other assets rallied strongly as a conviction grew that the Federal Open Market Committee (FOMC) would be lowering its benchmark overnight borrowing rate. Stocks have continued to climb, setting a succession of record highs for major averages since the decision Wednesday to cut by a quarter percentage point. Markets listen to us and follow, and they make an estimation of where they think rates are going, and so they'll price things in. Powell said in part of a conversation dealing with the mortgage rates, right? So basically, Jerome Powell, right, the head of the Federal Reserve, is basically saying that he thinks stock prices are too high and they're fairly highly valued, almost overvalued, right? Something to keep in mind. But that's something that we kind of like. We already knew, stocks have been they've been running up for a minute now, and when they come back down, they're gonna come back down and keep running up, right? So this is not anything surprising. Let me see if there's anything else interesting on here. I'm going to be talking about NVDA OpenAI thing. That's something that we should talk about. Yeah, let's get into that. So let's talk about the NVIDIA and OpenAI partnership, man. So NVIDIA did a $100 billion investment into OpenAI. Right, so NVIDIA is the people who make the chips to power the AI that we have going nowadays. So NVIDIA makes graphic computing chips, graphic processing units, and central processing units, CPU and GPUs, and that's for the gaming graphics, right? That's to make your computer run the most efficient way. And they make semiconductor chips for the AIs, right? So they make the chips that plug the AI to have the best, to have the power that it has, right? So OpenAI uses NVIDIA's chips. OpenAI is a company that created ChatGPT, and they use NVIDIA's chips. And NVIDIA just invested $100 billion into OpenAI, right? Which is a big deal. So they're building something, and let's get into that. Right, so let's look right here, NVIDIA and OpenAI deal. So let's talk about that a little bit. Let's see what Gemini got for us. So Gemini pulled it up, right? NVIDIA announced on September 22nd a strategic partnership with OpenAI, including a potential investment of up to $100 billion. Now that's a lot of money. Oh, I don't even want that in the screen. Let me get that out the way. So you're talking about $100 billion, man. That's a lot of money, right? So to build at least 10 gigawatts of AI data center infrastructure for OpenAI. OpenAI plans to use NVIDIA's chips and systems for next. OpenAI plans to use NVIDIA's chips and systems for next generation AI, while NVIDIA will invest progressively as the infrastructure is deployed. This deal, seen by some as a significant boost to the AI boom, also raises concerns from others about it being a form of vendor financing, which could be an antitrust issue. Right, here are key details of the partnership. So it's a strategic partnership. NVIDIA and OpenAI have signed a letter of intent for a strategic partnership to build out OpenAI's AI infrastructure. Investment: NVIDIA intends to invest up to $100 billion. That's what we just talked about. Compute capacity: we just talked about how it's going to be a capacity of at least 10 gigawatts of computing power, all utilizing NVIDIA systems and chips. Right, so all utilizing NVIDIA system and chips. Right, so you got NVIDIA who makes the hardware, and then you got OpenAI who makes the software, and this controls how everything moves. Right, so you got the top top AI company in the game that makes the hardware to AI. Then you got the top AI company in the game that makes the software to AI, right? This is a big deal, right? So I was watching the Wall Street Trapper video earlier. Shout out to Wall Street Trapper, man, and he was touching on the fact that he was touching on why big of a deal this was, right? And I want to touch on it as well, right? I'm gonna repeat some things that he already said. So shout out to Trap, because this is where we got this information from. But NVIDIA makes the hardware, OpenAI makes the software, like I just said. So if you got the person who makes the best company that makes the hardware, then you got the best company that makes the software. Trap was comparing it to Apple, right? When we've already talked about it, I think I mentioned it before, we've already talked about how OpenAI acquired the dude who worked for Apple and made the hardware for Apple to make Apple's iPhones have the design, and the MacBook have the design, and the iPad have the design that it has, right? So they already acquired that dude. I think his name like John Ive or something like that. So they got the dude who built the hardware for Apple, right? And that was already a signal that they could be possibly building products, right? Compared to Apple's products, right? They could have a phone, right? So they could have a phone, right, with because they have the right software, but all they need is the right hardware. So they have the right software for ChatGPT, right? So if OpenAI came out with a phone, that's a big competitor to the iPhone, because now they're gonna have the software and the hardware to have that phone that has AI inside of it, which is a big deal, because that is what can slowly push out Apple. That is something that could compete with Apple, right? Apple runs the phone game nowadays, right? And they're slowly losing their credibility as well, right? All we needed right now was for something to replace it. And if NVIDIA and OpenAI, right, with NVIDIA's chips, right, because John Ive, he does hardware, but he doesn't know anything about chips, right? He doesn't know anything about the chips that go inside the hardware to make it go and power the best way it needs to do to have the best computing power, right? So OpenAI already knows the software. All they were missing was, how do we get these chips, right, at the scale that we need them, so that we can put them in our hardware. So my mind's going to, straight up, OpenAI is working on some products, right? Some tech products. You get a phone out of OpenAI and NVIDIA, right? You get a phone made from them, right? You get a computer made from them. It's no longer smart TVs and smart phones. Now you're gonna have an AI phone and an AI TV and an AI pad, literally, bro. So this is the world that we're going to, and this is such a big partnership. This is such a big partnership. Some keys that I got from Trap right here. So NVIDIA equals king of hardware. So like I just talked about, NVIDIA is the king of hardware. That's some saying that I got from Trap, right? OpenAI is the king of AI software. So if OpenAI is the king of AI software, we got NVIDIA, the king of the hardware. You put that together, right? That's a big power. So you got also NVIDIA is the muscle to AI. No AI will be running the way that it's running without NVIDIA's chips, right? We wouldn't have ChatGPT without NVIDIA's chips being able to power it. All these companies, Tesla, Meta, Amazon, Microsoft, right? All these guys partner and they use NVIDIA's chips to power their AI, because that's the only thing that's possible, because that's the best and most efficient way, because they have the best product, literally. So NVIDIA is like who it is when it came down to the iPhone, right? So when it came down to Apple with the iPhone, NVIDIA with AI and building AI, right? With the AI chips, right? Because when it came down to iPhone, Apple ran that Apple ran that sector when it came down to phones, right? You didn't hear nothing but iPhone. If you didn't have iPhone, you were looked at as an outcast, right? And that's the same thing that's going to be with NVIDIA, right? It's going to be all NVIDIA, it's going to be all NVIDIA, it's going to be all NVIDIA, right? Because they have dominated that field, because their product is just that good. So, when they say 10 gigawatts, right? So it's going to build at least 10 gigawatts of AI data center of 10 gigawatts. If you compare that, let's ask ChatGPT, or we could ask Gemini. Give me a visual comparison of how much 10 gigawatts really is. NVIDIA's plan to deploy at least 10 gigawatts of computing AI power is a massive undertaking. To put 10 gigawatts in perspective, consider these comparisons. So you get 10 power plants. A single gigawatt is roughly the output of a modern nuclear power plant or a large coal-fired power station. 10 gigawatts is equivalent to the capacity of about 10 such facilities. So it's going to be 10 facilities of nuclear power plants. Compared to that, the Guri Dam, 10 gigawatts comparable to the capacity of the Guri Dam in Venezuela, which is the 6th largest power station in the world. The output of gigawatts is compared to the Hoover Dam is roughly equivalent to about 5 Hoover Dams, right? So the Hoover Dam is already big, but 10 gigawatts is roughly equivalent to about 5 of the Hoover Dams running at a maximum capacity, right? 10 gigawatts for reverse household city power, homes power for a day. 10 gigawatts could power, oh my gosh, approximately 8 million US homes for one day. For a single home, that is about 100 years of power. So if you had 10 gigawatts in your house right now, if I had 10 gigawatts in this apartment, this is smaller than a house, right? That's about 100 years, 100 plus years of power, right? If you compare it to city power, 10 gigawatts is enough to meet the energy needs of a metropolis of over 1.5 million households. Whoa, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. Okay. Okay, so we get a good understanding of how big 10 gigawatts is really is. So this is when we talk about investing into NVIDIA. So when this happened, man, this is why we need to invest into the future. This is why AI is such a big deal. This is why we always preach invest into the future, invest into AI, invest into NVIDIA. NVIDIA is not just the top company for no reason, right? I know this has a lot going on there. Let me get all that stuff out of there. But look, man, NVIDIA just hit 178. They just hit that high. As soon as that was said, it was just said yesterday, and it went from 175 and hit that high of 183, right? And ended up coming back down. But NVIDIA is definitely a company that's definitely going to hit 200 as well, right? They're going to hit 250. NVIDIA is going to grow. NVIDIA is NVIDIA. That they are the backbone to what we have right now. NVIDIA is the backbone to what we have right now in our world. They are the reason for AI moving at the rate that it's moving at. AI does not move without NVIDIA moving at the rate that it's moving at, right? NVIDIA's earnings per share experienced a compounded annual growth rate of 79.5 over the last 5 years. NVIDIA shares closed at 183, reflecting on an increase of $6. NVIDIA announced plans to invest up to $100 billion in OpenAI, unspecified period, aimed at enhancing computing capacity for the owner of ChatGPT. Yes, sir. So that was NVIDIA and OpenAI, man. So grab you some NVIDIA, and when OpenAI comes out, grab some OpenAI, right? For sure, grab some OpenAI. Let me add Microsoft up in this. I don't know why I don't have Microsoft in my watch list. Because another thing that you guys probably didn't know, if you already did, that's dope. OpenAI and Microsoft owns 50% of OpenAI. Man, I got a lot going on right here. Yeah, Microsoft is going crazy. Founder of Rainwater Equity, a hedge fund founder, listed Microsoft as the top holding in his new ETF, highlighting its strong recurring revenue from Office 365 subscriptions. I don't know if this guy's an equity hedge fund manager, but he's the founder of Rainwater Equity, so I would guess. Microsoft is investing $7 billion into 2 AI data centers in Wisconsin, the first in Fairwater. It will cost $3.3 billion and is set to launch in early 2026, right? So these companies are building all type of AI data centers, right? AI is the race that we have going on right now. And since April, Microsoft is on a 50% increase since the lows in April. All these companies, when we see these lows in April, that's why it's important for you to buy at the dip. All these companies, since the lows in April, have done nothing but go up to the moon. They're not gonna do anything but go up. This is why it's important that you buy at the dip. Anytime that you see these prices on a discount, buy the dip. Buy the dip, man. So next thing that I think we should talk about is I want to talk about Meta. I'm going to talk about Meta. Let's see what their stock did today. Meta today, we look like we ended up red. We ended up opening up at what, 770? We closed at 755. What happened with Meta today? Meta Platforms has acquired a 49% stake in Scale AI for around $14.3 billion. Do you see what's going on, man? All these companies are acquiring and getting involved with AI, and this is not new. They're just doing more of it now. So let's see what Scale AI even does and who the owner is, Alexander Wang. Scale AI. Scale AI with confidence. Scale AI. Scale AI IT company. Scale AI is an American data annotation company based in San Francisco. It provides data labeling, model evaluation, and software to develop applications for artificial intelligence. Alexander Wang, he's created something. I've seen this guy around before, I feel like. Or maybe I just seen him on YouTube or something like that. And this is the power of what's going on with AI companies nowadays as well, which is why I've been trying to learn more about that. Alexander Wang is an American billionaire entrepreneur who was named Meta's Chief AI Officer in 2025. He is the co-founder and former CEO of Scale AI, an artificial intelligence company that provides data labeling and large language model evaluation services to develop AI applications. Okay, this is a good acquisition. This is a great acquisition. That's where I saw him. He was on this podcast. And this guy's only like, he was born in 1997. So he's like, if I'm 22, he's probably like 26, 27, 24, who became the world's youngest self-made billionaire at 24, right? So he's been a billionaire for the last 4 years. That's crazy. That's insane. Meta Platforms fell 1.7% due to $765, while the S&P 500 rose 0.44%. The firm announced a quarterly dividend. Meta Platforms expanding the availability of its Llama AI models to additional key U.S. allies in Europe and Asia, along with NATO and EU institutions. Right, so that was Meta. That's what Meta has going on with AI. But really, I wanted to talk about their new Meta glasses. Let's look at the new Meta glasses. Because Meta came out with some new glasses last week for like $799. Go to AI mode. AI mode always. You gotta learn how to use this AI, man. So the new Meta glasses, priced at $799. They are the Meta Ray-Ban display glasses, right? So they announced at the Meta's Connect 2025 event, these smart glasses feature a built-in display in the right lens and come with a Meta neutral bin for gesture controls, right? So here are some key features about this, which is dope, man. The glasses include a small full color display. A small full-color display inside the right lens for viewing information without a phone. The display can show messages, navigation, and other prompts from Meta AI. Neural wristband control. A key feature is the accompanying wristband. The Meta Neural Band, which uses EMG technology to detect subtle muscle signals in your arm. This allows you to control the glasses interface with finger movements. Now that's dope. Now we're in that time now. That's crazy. AI capabilities. Meta AI integrates with the glasses to offer real-time translation, display live captions during conversations, and provide hands-free assistance. Transition lens. The glasses come with transition lens, which automatically adjusts to different light conditions, allowing for all-day outdoor wear. You got a camera, you got an audio similar to previous Ray-Bans Meta glasses. This model includes an ultra-wide 12MP camera and open-ear audio for calls and music. According to Meta, the glasses provide up to 6 hours of mixed-use battery life, with the portable charging case offering up to 30 hours of total battery life. This is nice. So they came out with some display glasses, right? This is dope. The reason why I wanted to talk about this is because Meta is showing that they're really attacking this AI race, but then they're also showing that they're trying to become more than just social media, right? So we know Meta owns Facebook, we know Meta owns WhatsApp, we know Meta owns Instagram, right? But now they're expanding into wearables. They're competing, right? So this is you can compete with Apple with wearables, right? They have the wristband, they have the glasses. Apple has the Apple Watch. Apple has the Vision Pro. They have the AirPods. They just have wearables. So this is a way that Meta can compete even more and expand their revenue, right? Increase the revenue as well. So this is nice, and they are the leader in this race when it comes down to this in our new age. So you get AI, right? You got NVIDIA being a leader in that race, right? And then when it comes down to the AR and VR, Meta is are the people that's making the best noise in that race, right? You got Apple, they have their Vision Pro, but we kind of spoke about that last week. Apple's Vision Pro costs a lot, and it's so big. I mean, Meta, these are fairly affordable, right? Especially for what you're getting. And you can wear these daily. People can use these. These are usable. You can't just, it's not going to be so big compared to the Vision Pro where you can only wear them at a specific time. No, you can wear these and walk out the door. Right now, you can wear them all day, every day, the same way that people use the Meta glasses that we have right now, the Meta Ray-Bans without the display, but now you get a display. So now you get a display and you can see messages pop up. You can see text, and you control it with your fingers, right? So you can see whatever it is that you need to see. I was watching a video of an example, and Mark Zuckerberg was showing the fact that you can, when speaking, you can have captions. So if I'm having a conversation with somebody in person, on my glasses, I can see the captions of what this person is saying, and even if that person is speaking a different language, I can have the captions come back in my native language while they're speaking their whole other language, right? So this is definitely dope, man. Our whole world is changing, man. So, let me see. Yeah, only thing is the price, $799. But I feel like that's a good price. I mean, the Ray-Ban Meta Gen 2 is $379, right? They also had another Oakley Meta Vanguard. I don't even know about these. This is sports-centric design with enhanced speakers and integration with fitness apps like Strava. So that's dope. So they have a fitness one, because Strava is a big fitness app that people use to track their runs, right? So if they have glasses that are linked with Strava, that's very, very nice. That has no display. The Ray-Ban Meta Gen 2, they have no display. They have voice and touch controls. They have an enhanced camera and audio with a focus on core functions. But the newest one, Meta Ray-Ban Display, they get built-in lens display. You get a neural wristband and AI voice control. You get high-resolution full-color display and one lens. You get $799, right? You pay $799. So yeah, when it comes down to long-term, I think Meta is such a good buy, man. I'm waiting for them to split so I can buy some more plays in them, and some more shares, right? Meta is that company that I wish I would have just kind of focused on a little bit more. You know, that's one stock that I regret not holding as much. So yeah, no, this is very, very much a good long-term play, right? This is just gonna grow over the time, and you can see exactly what Meta is building towards. You can see exactly what they're building towards, man. Let me see. if it's gonna copyright me. I can't pull up a YouTube video. It's gonna copyright me. I ain't even gonna do that. None of that. It is gonna copyright me. Let me see. Google too. Google been going crazy. All these companies been going crazy. Right? Google since the lows. Google since the lows is up 70%. Right? And Google, they've been making some A's with their AI. I think they were acquiring Perplexity. The Europe is investigating Google for compliance with regulations aimed at protecting users from online financial scams, seeking details on how it manages scam risk on its platform. Google is in the second phase of an antitrust trial over its ad monopoly with the U.S. Justice Department. Right, so Google's been going through that for a minute. Basically, the government, and as it says here, the U.S. Justice Department, they've been trying to come at Google because first they thought that Google was paying Apple extra just so they can be the default search engine on the Safari app, right? First they thought that was the case, which is where the antitrust trial came from, because that was the first monopoly, and now they're having an ad monopoly for, I guess, their ads over its ad monopoly with the U.S. Justice Department seeking to divest in its ad exchange to boost competition. Yeah, no, I don't know what's going on with Google. Let's go to CNBC and look it up. That's all I do. All I do, y'all. We go to CNBC and we look this up, man. Because CNBC will give you the information on that specific company. So all I gotta do is come up and look up the symbol Google, Goggl, type in Google, and it pulls it up, right? And I'm able to see the latest news on Google, right? So let's see the latest news. The latest and greatest. Let me see. YouTube says, this is September 3rd to the 23rd. YouTube to allow creators banned for COVID-19 election misinformation to apply for reinstatement. Allow creators banned. Oh, okay. YouTube on Tuesday said it will soon allow previously banned accounts to apply for reinstatement, rolling back a policy that had treated violations as a permanent. The change applies to channels removed for COVID-19 or election-related misinformation. Right, so they was just, at some point on Google, people had to cover, they couldn't say COVID, and if you said COVID, you would have got banned. So I guess they're just giving people accounts back for that. Altman and Huang in the last-minute negotiation that sealed the $100 billion NVDA deal. What does Google have to do with this? As OpenAI's compute necessities increase, a big question is where the company will host its workloads, which have to date been largely housed in Microsoft Azure. Taking the work in-house would push OpenAI closer to operating as a first-party cloud provider and market led by Amazon Web Services. Oh, okay, a market led by Web Services followed by Azure, Google, and Oracle. Right, so they're just saying that OpenAI could come to their own cloud provider and not have to go through Amazon or Google. Well, you know how we do it, man. We kind of covered all the topics that I really wanted to go over. So let's get ChatGPT to come up with these topics. On stream, about 20 minutes left. Hit me with, let me use absolute mode. Let's do it. Let's do this with ChatGPT, man. Let's use this AI, man, to help us do what we need to do. I already kind of spoke on rate cuts plus rising markets. What does it mean for everyday bills, rent, in groceries. Ties back to your early point, S&P 500 highs. Do you feel that market optimism in your daily life, or is it just numbers on Wall Street? I'm gonna be real. Rate cuts and rising markets doesn't mean that the economy is going to be going well. That's a good topic that we should talk about. So, the final topic being rate cuts plus the rising markets. So, just because the markets are rising and rates are being cut, shout out to Wall Street Trapper. He was talking about this too, man. That doesn't necessarily mean that the economy is doing well. If anything, it's a warning sign to the economy not doing so well, right? So, the people who do have stocks and investments, right, they're going to see benefits off of this throughout time. But what it means for everyday bills, rent, and groceries, that doesn't mean anything too well. It means that, the Federal Reserve, they only cut rates when the economy is not doing too well. When they see that when they feel like they have to cut rates for the economy to do better, right? And they cut the rates so that they can make it feel like to us that economy is a bit stabler, right? But the economy is not doing too well, right? So everyday bills, rent, and groceries, I mean, that's been being high all year, and the interest rate cuts, it helps a little bit, right? And we do have more cuts coming as well, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to help us completely, right? It may help assets, right? But over time, this hurts the economy because they're cutting it because the economy is hurting, right? So when they cut the rates and things get cheaper, it doesn't necessarily do us any good because the dollar is still getting weaker, right? And let me confirm that. Exactly. Okay. Rate cuts aren't always bullish. They can weaken the dollar, and the dollar is already being weakened. It's more of a warning signal than a rescue plan. So that's why it is important for you to get assets and learn a skill right now, right? So learn a skill, whether it's learning how to build websites, learn how to build apps, learning a little bit of code, learning how to trade stocks, learning how to do content curation. I mean, we can ask chat for some skills. So what are 5 skills, the top 5 skills that someone should learn to save themselves from the economy, from relying on the economy, So here are the 5 skills, right? So he's gonna respond. So financial literacy, manage money, invest, understand debt and assets, right? So that's one of the first skills that you can learn to save yourself from the economy, right? You got sales, right? Sales and persuasion. You get to sell products, you get to sell ideas, you get to sell yourself. You can create income anywhere, right? Digital skills. So if, like I just said, you learn coding, you learn how to design, you learn how to market, you learn how to do automation, location independent work. Self-sufficiency, cooking, basic repairs, growing food. He wasn't talking about things that you can only make money with. He's talking about things that you should learn in general so you can survive. And that's self-sufficiency is something I need. Cooking, basic repairs. Like I was telling you about that washer earlier. Growing my food. I don't know how to grow any food. I wouldn't know what to do with a seed and know how to plant any of that. Lower dependence on systems. So we need to lower our dependence on the economy and the system as a whole. Adaptability and learning. Quickly acquire new skills as industries shift. So these are the 5 skills that you think that will help you from relying on the economy and help us in this time that we're going in. Because once again, even though interest rates are being cut, right, does not mean that the economy is going to be getting better due to the fact that the dollar is getting weaker, right? That is that is a good one. That is a good one for someone who doesn't. So for somebody who doesn't know where to start, what is your suggestion? Right. Start with financial literacy. Right. So suggestion is financial literacy is the foundation for the rest. So once you can budget, you can save, and you can invest. You create breathing room for you to learn other skills without desperation. Right. So get to the path where you track expenses and your income. Right. So track your income and track your expenses. Right. Build an emergency fund 1 to 3 months. Right. Learn basics of ETFs, index compounding. Practice discipline with money before chasing advanced skills. Right. So all these topics matter, right? And financial literacy is the thing that's going to help you the most during times right now, because I mean, financially, a lot of people are going through it, right? Financially, a lot of things are going to hit us in a way that we haven't expected, right? So you're going to have to learn how to do more with less, and maximize your income, and maximize your income. Now I'm going to ask the best way for someone to maximize their income. Two levers: increase skills and then sell them higher. Learn high value skills. You can learn tech, you can learn finance, you can learn sales, you can learn marketing, you can learn design, and charge more for your time or product, right? Um, Multiply skills with leverage. So you use tools, AI, media, capital to reach more people or make money work for you, right? Investing, business, content. You maximize income equals stack valuable skills, and then you apply leverage, right? So, hey, chat's saying it best, right? So, something I can learn from this right here, something that we can all learn. You learn high value skills and charge more for your time and product, right? So, I'm working on charging more for my skills, and creating products that I can charge for, right? So I can have products making me money while I'm in my sleep, right? Multiply your skills and your leverage, right? So I've been using tools like AI, I've been using tools like media, right? Capital, where capital is just money, right? I use that to network and reach more people, and I make my money work for me that by investing into the market, right? I invest into business, I invest into better equipment for my content, right? So you stack your valuable skills and you apply the leverage, man. You know, Nobody is in a perfect position. If you are, kudos to you. But I'm not in a perfect position, right? I'm bringing this up to you guys because we're all in this together, and I'm not even trying to sit here and act like I'm in a perfect position. I'm growing, you're growing, but the only thing that's different between me is the fact that I'm doing, right? I ask these questions for you guys, and I can answer them with confidence and can give my input because I do these things, right? I have skills that I'm increasing, and skills that I'm working on selling them higher. I have skills that I have sold and sell now, but working on selling them higher, right? I have skills that I'm going to multiply, that I am multiplying with leverage, right? I use AI to multiply my skills. I use media and content to multiply my skills, hence me being on Twitch right now. I use capital. I use my money that I'm getting from my job to invest more into the things that I'm learning, right? I use capital to invest more into the things that into people that I want to know, going to networking events, right? I use my money to make it work for me, taking 10% of my income and putting it into the stock market, right? I watch content, I make content, I learn about business, right? I have a business, right? I'm creating another business. So it's these things that that matter. You got to change your whole lifestyle up, right? What's going on now is the fact that the same lifestyle, when it comes down to going out and prioritizing desire over discipline, that's no longer that. It's too late. It's very late, almost too late for that. It's never too late, but it's almost too late, right? We all have to get ourselves in check, right? We all have to make sure that we're laying a brick each day to build a wall, because it's no longer a choice to build your life now. You have to build your life, right? The best thing that you can do right now is pick the best habits for you, right? The best thing that you can do right now is pick the best friends for you, right? The best thing that you can do right now is learn the best skills, right? The best thing that you can do right now is sacrifice time and work hard, right? Build something. That's the best thing that you can do right now. That's the best thing that you can do right now, especially with AI, right? There's no excuse. AI is is you see how I use ChatGPT, you see how I use all these different AI platforms. I mean, AI edits my videos. AI gives me ideas to talk about on the stream. It makes it easier for me to create content, right? AI helps me with content, right? AI helps me learn the things that I'm learning. AI helps me learn code. Helps me learn how to, build websites. AI helps me learn how to do all these things, right? AI is a tool, right? You want to use AI and not let it use you, right? So, we're moving into a different type of time. These are the times that we was dreaming about. These are the times that we would see on movies where you saw people, flying cars, and you saw people walking down the street with VR glasses on, and you see people living in a digital world, and you see robots taking over the world, and sometimes doing more for humans than they do for themselves, right? So we're going in a different type of time, man. So give me a thought-provoking last topic. What happens when AI starts making decisions for us instead of helping us? So just exactly on the topic that we were on, right? So what happens when AI starts making decisions for us and AI starts using you instead of you start using it, right? What happens, right? It's thought-provoking because it shifts from markets and products into human identity, freedom. We don't have to get into that, but I'm going to let you guys think about what happens, right? Let me think about what happens. And I already kind of have it in my mind, but you see how, technology makes a lot of humans, it uses a lot of humans instead of us using it. It makes some humans go brain dead. I mean, you see plenty of people who scroll and watch TikTok all day, every day. You see plenty of people who, the first thing that they do when they get up is get up on Instagram and scroll, and the last thing that they do before they go to bed is get up on Instagram and scroll. I mean, I've been a victim of that before, right? We live in a different day and age now where that stuff is being normalized, right? It's normalized to be a little hooked to your device, right? Let your device use you, right? That stuff becomes normal to the point where everybody has experience being hooked to their device, right? So I'm saying that to say, if we're already going, if we're already getting lazier, we're already being less urgent and not focusing on ourselves just because of that device, I wouldn't be surprised if it gets worse with AI, right? You don't have to get up and go to the kitchen and make you something to eat, or get up and go do your errands and stop scrolling. You can still scroll and tell your AI to get up and go do the errands, right? Even when they have the agents coming out and you don't have AI in physical form, but you have an AI on an agent who's able to, answer your emails, do your business for you, make decisions for you, right? You don't have to go, hey, AI, help me with making this decision. No, it can know who you are and it can make those decisions for you. I mean, when it gets to that point, man, people gonna be brain dead. I mean, we already know what's gonna happen. People are gonna get bigger physically. People are going to get more out of shape. They're going to be even more unhealthy than they are. They're going to be even dumber than they are, right? They're going to rely on this more than they are. Instead of using it as a tool, they're going to let it use them. And then that's where the point where, you get AI who's working for a human and sees this human not living up to their potential every day. Just telling the AI to make this food for them, right? Telling this AI to, turn the TV on for them. Telling AI to go handle the groceries for them and cook the food for them, whatever the case may be. You just telling AI to do all these things while you letting your life just go away and doing nothing, right? If the AI seeing that gives power, right? I mean, I'm not an AI, but I don't know how they think. But I mean, we see it in the movie all the time. You're an AI. You see this human that's telling you what to do over and over. At some point, you get sick of the fact that this human who ain't valuing themselves is telling you what to do, and you value yourself, and self-worth. So next thing you know, you mad at this human, and you finna take anger out on this human because now you want to be in human's position because you feel like you can be a human better than the human is being a human. I'm just saying. That's the age that we're going to. I mean, so it's important that I don't. They gonna do it no matter what, but I don't think that robots should roam the world. I don't think that robots should roam the world. I don't think that, I think that we should leave robots in the workforce, right, in a warehouse. But like, man, it's too much that can happen when you just have a world full of AI roaming around. When I'm able to walk outside and now I'm going about my day to day while seeing this robot right next to me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's natural that you have malfunctions. I mean, you walk outside, you see AIs walking around. You got AI at Starbucks, right, with only one human in there, and then you got you walk outside, you see a whole. Say you're in New York City and you see a whole bunch of Ubers in one spot, and all Ubers are electric vehicles, self-driving cars. That's the world that we're moving into. That's the world that we're moving into. So you guys tell me, are you excited, or are you a little scared? I'm gonna tell you, man. I'm excited. I'm excited. I mean, I don't fear a lot of things. I mean, obviously, I'm worried about, what else could occur. Besides, I would just say, I'm a bit worried about other things that could happen besides the things that we just want to happen. But in all actuality, I mean, I'm a little excited to see what this world is coming to. I mean, I want to see what it's like to ride in a self-driving Uber. I want to see what it's like to have, AI help me and go get me a coffee, right? I want to see what it's like to have an AI agent on my computer and have it go send emails and, edit videos for me. Obviously, I want to see what that's like, but I don't want it to also get to a point where it's using me. I want to continue to use it. Let me see if there are any AI robots. Like, what is this? You telling me I could buy a robot right now from Robo Store? What? What is Robo Store? Introducing the G1 base, a versatile humanoid robot engineered to excel in light industrial tasks, service applications, and educational setting with its advanced 3D LiDAR and depth camera technologies. The G1 standard ensures precise navigation and task execution across various environments. Its robust design and user-friendly functionality make it an ideal choice for research workflow optimization. Key features: quick 23 degrees of freedom, high performance action meters, research joint. Bro, what does this do? This isn't even saying it does anything, bro. It just says it helps with light tasks. Like, what is this robot do, man? Sir, in light industrial tasks. So I guess, light stuff, like maybe going to pop a bottle open or something, like I said, like it did. Speaker. What is this? So what does this one do? If this is 128,000, the other one was 20,000. This is 128,000. What is this? Man, y'all don't even got a website that work properly. I'm thinking this is fake. Robo Store, robotic humanoid. This look like a scam though. This don't even look like anything that's. Let's see, humanoid robots. Let's see. Okay, you got Tesla's humanoid robot, Optimus, Unitree. They got so these humanoid robots. They're obviously getting worked on right now. So it's definitely gonna be something that's gonna come out eventually. Man, come on. You know these times is getting real, man. Let me know in the comments if you guys want a human robot or do you guys not? Are you guys gonna use it or are you guys not gonna use it? Oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is crazy. I don't want no human robot that look like a human. I don't want no robot that look like a human. This is crazy. I done seen way too many movies. It's not it. Well, you guys, let me see what's going on. Let me see. Well, you guys, man, it's about time for me to hop off this stream, man. It's your boy Official Go Getter, man. Follow me on Instagram at Official Go Getter _. Subscribe to the YouTube channel that this video is gonna go on at Official Go Getter _. Twitch stream at Official Go Getter _. Let me make sure that this stream is gonna save. I believe it should. Alright, y'all, I'm out of here. It's your boy Official Go Getter. We got a good stream, man. Like, comment, subscribe. You guys already know, man. I'm out. If I can learn how to stop it.